Mötley Crüe bassist Nikki Sixx is so disliked that not one but two other rock stars have written songs about how much they hate him. During their 2009 touring festival Crüefest 2, reports of tensions emerged between Mötley Crüe and one of the other bands in the lineup, Godsmack. A year later, Godsmack released a single titled Crying Like a which was reportedly about Nikki Sixx. Skip ahead to 2014 when Sixx took to X to allege that Godsmack wanted to appear on his radio show 6 Cents. He wrote, "So Godsmack begged to be on 6 Cents to promote their new album. Good luck touring phone booths. Who's crying like a now?" A year later, Godsmack frontman Sully Erna appeared on the Jasta show and stated that while he had no issues with Mötley Crüe as a whole, he just can't stand how Sixx treats people. He politely explained, "I'll say it straight out. I've never met a bigger in my life than Nikki Sixx. He's He's straight up a douche, and I don't give a what he says. He knows exactly where I am, and he knows exactly how he can find me anytime that has the balls to come and look me up." Guitarist Mick Mars' departure from Mötley Crüe caught the entire music industry off guard. In a 2023 interview, rock drummer Carmine Appice stated that he spoke to Mars and the guitarist had been unhappy with the Crüe for a while already, especially for using pre-recorded tracks on stage. Sixx responded with a series of tweets saying in one, "A washed-up drummer trying to speak for us?" Appice told Goldmine he was surprised at Sixx's response, saying that they used to be friends, but that Mötley Crüe's lawyers had written to him to demand he stop talking about the band. He said, "Yeah, what he said was sad because we were friends, but I guess we're not anymore." In 2016, Kiss bassist Gene Simmons set off a firestorm of controversy when he made inflammatory remarks about the death of Prince. He later apologized, but not before Sixx blasted him online, tweeting, "Gene Simmons' recent heartless and uneducated remarks about Prince's death shows why he's not my hero anymore, or anybody's." After Sixx continued to lambast Simmons, Kiss frontman Paul Stanley jumped into the fray, writing on Facebook, "Jesus Christ, Nikki Sixx, would you please shut up? Find another way to be in the news and get off your self-inflated pedestal." Regardless of some things Gene Simmons has said that I may take issue with, his influence on musicians, you included, is undeniable and will continue. Though Sixx wrote that he appreciated Stanley's efforts to intercede, he didn't back down, telling Stanley, "You can't save him." In 1990, Iron Maiden singer Bruce Dickinson released a solo album titled Tattooed Millionaire, which also featured a single of the same name. Fans and critics have debated who the song is about, and in 2007, Nikki Sixx told Blender that while he wasn't sure if the song was about him, if it was, he had a theory why, saying, "It was something to do with the fact that I f***ed his wife, and I think he was upset. That wasn't my fault, by the way. I want to go on the record. She was his wife, but I didn't know that. I don't think Bruce found out about it until the dirt. I should have kept that a secret." When asked about Sixx's comments, Dickinson didn't address Sixx directly, but suggested that Mötley Crüe had a history of saying and doing things just to get attention. Mötley Crüe, again famous for being famous. You hear, "Oh, Mötley Crüe are bad boys who did this and this." Big deal. I mean, badly behaved boys? This is not new. I don't see what the big deal is. The Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson sex video was almost like the circus freak. Come and see the hideous deformed man. I'd rather it be about the music.
What's this guy trying to prove, you know? That's not even setting a good example to yourself. It's just like garbage. I don't respect that.
Mötley Crüe's lineup has changed numerous times, and according to former Skid Row vocalist Sebastian Bach, on one of those occasions he was asked to join the band. However, he said that he refused, tweeting, "Skid Row was better." Speaking on his radio show 6 Cents, Sixx outright refuted Bach's claims, saying that while they were looking for a vocalist to replace Vince Neil at the time, they never considered Bach, in part because they were friends with the members of Skid Row. He said, "I think maybe Sebastian wanted to be in Mötley Crüe and just forgot to tell us that he wanted to be in Mötley Crüe when we were looking for a singer." Bach responded on Facebook by posting a video in which Sixx says the band jammed with Bach. And a few years later, Bach questioned the authenticity of Sixx's autobiography, The Heroin Diaries, A Year in the Life of a Shattered Rock Star, saying, "Were you really keeping a diary when you were doing heroin?" Mötley Crüe's brief stint with John Corabi as their lead singer isn't looked upon fondly by fans of the band. According to Corabi himself, though, he's on good terms with all of his ex-bandmates, except for Nikki Sixx. Speaking on the SDR Show podcast in 2022, Corabi stated the animosity stems from an old interview in which Corabi said that he thought both Sixx's autobiography and the band's autobiography, The Dirt, Confessions of the World's Most Notorious Rock Band, hadn't necessarily been entirely accurate. Corabi said that Sixx didn't like that, adding, "I sent him an email back because we had this little beef via email, and he sent me this thing and he's like, I don't appreciate you f***ing slagging my book and blah blah blah. And I just told him, did you read the whole interview? That's all. And then the second thing I said was, why do you give a f*** about anything I have to say?" In an incident that was famously dramatized in the Netflix adaptation of The Dirt, in 1984, an intoxicated Vince Neil crashed his car while heading to a liquor store for more booze. His passenger, Nicholas Dingley, drummer for the Finnish rock band Hanoi Rocks, was killed. Hanoi Rocks guitarist Andy McCoy still holds a grudge against Neil, both for the accident and for never apologizing for his friend's death. But he's also no fan of Sixx either. McCoy told IndiePower that Sixx's books were full of lies, revealing that he once saved Sixx's life after an overdose, and he didn't receive so much as a thank you. He said, "I got him revived, got his heart beating again, and the thank you I've gotten has been de nada, and that makes him a second-class citizen in my eyes, because he only thinks about the buck." After being introduced by Mötley Crüe drummer Tommy Lee, Nikki Sixx and Baywatch actor Donna D'Errico were married from 1996 to 2006 and had a daughter together. In 2017, D'Errico told Million Dollar Matchmaker that Sixx had cheated on her, but she was reluctant to file for divorce initially because of her Catholic upbringing. Finally, she did.
I went through my divorce and it was a very trying time, and I turned back to the church.
In 2019, The Blast claimed to have obtained court records where D'Errico also accused Sixx of trying to get out of paying child support to her. It was just the latest in a string of legal battles. At a 2007 hearing, Sixx had reportedly accused D'Errico of becoming a sex worker after their divorce, saying, "I heard she was doing high-end call girl work. I was freaking out. Your head starts to spin. We have a child together." Through her lawyer, D'Errico denied Sixx's claims. LA Gun singer Phil Lewis also has no time for Sixx. In 2012, after Lewis criticized Mötley Crüe's music, Sixx tweeted out a dismissal of Lewis, calling him a sad little pumpkin. Understandably, Lewis didn't forget the weird insult. Appearing on Rock Interview Series in 2023, Lewis referred to Mötley Crüe as atrocious instead of Sixx.
"I just find him to be a big fraud."
Lewis also suggested Sixx, Neil, and Lee lack social skills because of finding success so early in their lives, and said that former guitarist Mick Mars was the only good player in the band.
They really are atrocious band. They always have been.